The creation of light. Before there was a beginning, there was Allah. He is unique, not begotten, nor does he beget, and there is none like him. He has no size, shape, or form. He is not located in any specific location, nor is there anything possible hidden from him. Creation was initiated from a sacred light. Before the heavens, earth, empyrean, throne, paradise, hell, or the pen, from this light, the spirits of the prophets were formed. When Allah proposed to create the universe, He expanded the light and created 4 additional lights. These 5 were named Muhammad, Ali, Hassan, Fatima, and Hussein. The first thing that Allah created was the preserved tablet, on which is preserved a record of all that has been and all that will be till the day of resurrection. No one knows what is on it except Allah Most High. And Allah created from it another jewel, a pen whose length is a 500 years journey, whose point is split, and from which light flows as ink. Then a call came to the pen, write, whereat the pen, from terror at the summoning, trembled and shook, so that there was a quavering in its tasbih, like the rumbling of thunder. Then it entered on the tablet all that Allah bade it to enter, of all that is to be till the day of resurrection. So the tablet was filled up, and the pen ran dry. And he who is to be fortunate was made fortunate, and he who was to be unfortunate was made unfortunate. The story of the creation of water. Then after that Allah created a ripe pearl, the size of the heavens and the earths, and 70,000 tongues, which every tongue of which uttered tasbih to Allah in 70,000 languages. Then Allah called to it, and its soul trembled in terror that the call that it became running water, and part of it which bellowed against the other. Then a call came to the water, be still. So it became still, waiting expectantly for Allah's command. Then Allah created the throne out of a green jewel, whose size and whose light no one can describe, and it was put on the bellowing waves of the water. Allah created the roof first, then He created the throne before He created the heavens and the earth. Then Allah created the wind, and He commanded it to bear up the water on which the throne was, and it did so. So the throne was upon the water, and the water was upon the wind. Allah created the throne bearers, who at present are 4. They are of such a size as to be beyond description. The creation of the earth with its mountains and seas. He created the earth on the surface of the water in 2 days. Then He gave command to the waves that they stood still, so they are the mountains which we have as tent pegs for the earth. This is as the Most High has said, and we set on the earth firm mountains, lest it should move with them. For were it not for the mountains, the earth would not stand firm with its inhabitants. He said that the roots of these mountains are joined on the roots of Mount Kaf, which is the mountain that surrounds the earth. Then Allah created 7 seas, the first of them called Baitha, and it is the one which surrounds the earth beyond Mount Kaf. Each sea thus surrounds the sea which precedes it, and the others are like canals around it. There are also 7 earths. The first is named Ramaka, and beneath it is the destroying wind. The second is called Khalada. The third is called Araka. The fourth is called Al-Harba. The fifth is called Al-Maltham. The sixth is called Sijin. The seventh is called Ajibba. Allah then created intelligence. He said to it, "Advance," whereupon it advanced. He said to it, "Retreat," whereupon it retreated. When the Almighty created the openings in the atmosphere, expanse of firmament, and strata of winds, He flowed into it water whose waves were stormy and whose surges lapped one over another. He lauded it on dashing wind and breaking typhoons, ordered them to shed back as rain, gave the wind control over the vigor of the rain, and acquainted it with its limitations. The wind blew under it while the water flowed furiously over it. Then the Almighty created forth wind and made its movement sterile, perpetuated its position, intensified its motion, and spread it far and wide. Then He ordered the wind to raise up the deep waters and to intensify the waves of the oceans. So the wind churned it like the churning of curd and pushed it fiercely into the firmament, throwing its front position on the rear and the stationary on the flowing, till its level was raised and the surface was full of foam. Then the Almighty raised the foam onto the open wind and vast firmament, and made thereupon 7 skies, and made the lower one as a stationary surge, and the upper one as a protective ceiling and high edifice without any pole to support it or nail to hold it together. Then He decorated them with stars and the lights of meteors, and hung in it shining sun and a fulgent moon, and under the revolving sky, moving ceiling and rotating firmament. Then Allah bade the spray which had mounted up from the billowing waters to rise high in the air, where He created from it the heavens in 2 days. Above the 7 heavens are veils, and in these veils are angels who are numerous, so that no one knows the other, all of them uttering tasbih to Allah in different tongues, with a sound like peals of thunder. Above the veils are other angels whose feet pierce down through the 7 heavens and 7 earths. Beyond that, so that their feet are away down below the lowest part of the 7th earth. Above all these, there's an angel in human form who, if Allah permitted him, would find it easy to swallow up all the heavens and the earth. He is the spirit, Ruh, about whom Allah has blessed. He has arranged depressions and elevations in the openings of the sky. He has joined the breadths of its breaches and has joined them with one another. He has made easy the approach to its heights for the angels, who shall come down with His commands, and those angels which go up with the deeds of the creatures. He made its sun the bright indicator for its day, and the moon gloomy indication for its night, and He put them in motion in their orbits, and ordained their place of movement, so the stages of their paths in order to distinguish with their help between night and day, and in order that the reckoning of years and calculations may be known by their fixed movements. He hung in its vastness its sky, and put therein its decoration, consisting of small bright pearls and lamp-like stars. He shot at the overhearers arrows of bright meteors. He put them in motion on their appointed route, and made them into fixed stars, moving stars, descending stars, ascending stars, and ominous stars. The luminary of the sun has its rising in the eastern portals of the heaven, and its setting in the western portals of the heaven. 6 portals in which the sun rises, and 6 portals in which the sun sets, and the moon rises and sets in the same portals, and the leaders of the stars and those whom they lead, 6 in the east, 6 in the west, and all following each other in accurately corresponding order. Also many windows in the right and left of these portals. The sun and his circumference is like the circumference of the heaven, and he is quite filled with illuminating and heating fire. The chariot on which he ascends, the wind drives, and the sun goes down from the heaven and returns through the north in order to reach the east. And it is guided that he comes to the appropriate portal and shines in the face of the heaven. In this way he rises in the first month in the great portal, which is the fourth, and in that fourth portal from which the sun rises, in the first month of the 12 window openings, from which proceed a flame, which they are opened in their season. When the sun rises in the heaven, he comes forth through that fourth portal 30 mornings in succession, and sets accurately in the fourth portal in the west of the heaven. And during the fourth period of the day becomes daily, and during this period the day becomes daily longer, and nightly shorter, to the 30th morning, a 9th part. And the sun rises from the fourth portal and sets in the fourth, and returns to the 5th portal and the east for 30 mornings, and rises from it and sets in the 5th portal. Allah then created the Hellfire. Jahannam has 7 stages separated one from another. In each stage are 70,000 kinds of torment. Paradise is to the right of the throne, and hell is to the left. And it, meaning hell, has 7 heads, 7 portals, and 7 heads, in each head of which are 33 mouths, each mouth having tongues whose number none knows save Allah the Most High. It contains tree of fire whose thorns are like long spears, which blazes hotly with fires, and fruits of fire of which is a serpent which catches the unbeliever by his eyelids and lips, so that his flesh falls down at his feet. This concludes the part 1 of this series.